In Vertigo, the motif of spying, the trailing, the act of following someone without their knowledge, is one of the central narrative and thematic pillars of the film. Scotty Ferguson, played by James Stewart, a former detective suffering from vertigo, is hired by his old friend Gavin Elster to follow his wife, Madeleine, played by Kim Novak, who appears to be possessed by the spirit of her great grandmother, Carlota Valdez, and in danger of suicide. What begins as a simple surveillance mission gradually turns into a romantic obsession and then into a tragic manipulation. Hitchcock stretches these spying sequences over nearly 40 minutes of the film, almost the entire first third, which is exceptional in cinema. They rely a lot on Scotty's gaze. Here are these key sequences. First, Madeleine's first appearance at Ernie's restaurant. Scotty observes her for the first time. Second, the car chase. Scotty follows Madeleine's car through the streets of San Francisco. Third, Mission Dolores Cemetery. Madeleine standing before Carlota's grave. Fourth, Legion of Honor Museum. Madeleine, motionless, in front of Carlota's portrait, with almost the same hair bun, chignon. Fifth, Hotel. Madeleine mysteriously disappears. Sixth, San Francisco Bay. Madeleine throws herself in the water. Scotty saves her. It's the first physical contact. Seventh, the giant sequoias at Muir Woods and the famous kiss in front of the ocean just before Madeleine's death at the San Juan Bautista mission.
Technical explanation. How Hitchcock makes the trailing hypnotic. Subjective point of view. The camera is almost always on Scotty's side. We see Madeleine through the windshield, in the rearview mirror, through windows and half-open doors. The viewer becomes an accomplice in the voyeurism. The forward/backward dolly zoom, the famous Vertigo shot, invented for this film and used several times during the trailing sequences, most obviously in the church tower staircase, but also more discreetly when Scotty watches Madeleine walking down a sloping street. Color. Madeleine is constantly associated with green, her dress at Ernie's, the restaurant lighting, Scotty's own car, and white, her ghostly outfit. These colors become hypnotic signals. Silence and music, very little dialogue. Herman's score, with its descending spiral arpeggios, mimics the movement of obsession. Rhythm. The sequences are extremely slow, almost dreamlike. Hitchcock himself said, "I wanted the audience to fall in love with her at the same time as Scotty."
Thematic analysis. What the trailing reveals. A. Voyeurism as the driving force of Hitchcockian cinema. Scotty is the prototype of the cinema spectator. He watches without being seen, from the darkness of his car, behind windows. Hitchcock makes us complicit voyeurs. B. Obsession and loss of control. At first, Scotty follows Madeleine out of professional duty. Very quickly he becomes fascinated. Trailing becomes an addiction. He can no longer stop, even when he is no longer being paid. It is the story of a man who falls in love with an image, a fantasy. See, manipulation and trompe-l'oeil. We discover at the end that the entire trailing was a trap. Madeleine is in reality Judy, an actress hired by Elster to play the part of his wife. Every scene Scotty spied on had been staged for him. The audience, like Scotty, has been fooled. We thought we were watching a possessed woman, whereas we were watching an actress perfectly aware she was being watched. D. Existential vertigo. Following someone means wanting to possess their mystery. Yet the closer Scotty gets, the more Madeleine slips away. She disappears at the hotel, throws herself into the water, dies. Vertigo is not only physical, it is the vertigo of the impossibility of ever truly grasping another person. Concrete examples that illustrate all of this. First example, museum scene, Legion of Honor fixed shot on bun identical. The camera slowly dollies in on the painting, then on Madeleine. The viewer makes the connection before Scotty does. We are already inside the obsessive delusion. Second example, base scene, the rescue Madeleine walks like a sleepwalker toward the water. Scotty runs, catches her, carries her in his arms. First physical contact. The music surges. This is the moment when trailing turns into physical love. Hitchcock makes the desire of the gaze coincide with the desire of the body. Third example, the disappearance at the hotel. Scotty sees Madeleine enter the hotel, goes up to the window, looks inside, no one. This scene is the first very subtle clue that everything is fake.